Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God! Chubs gone wild.
Well, hey there, and welcome to a fabulous and bright green Chubs Gone Wild episode 584. It is Monday, March 17th, 2025, where it is drizzling and a cold 57 degrees outside in Chubland. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Tom.
Oh, sure. You too.
Yeah, So,
What are your big plans for today?
my plans for today are to make posts about how St. Patrick was actually a bad man who was either killing, it's debatable, killing or converting all the Druids and pagans into being Christians because Christians are fragile, and if everybody doesn't support them, they can't handle it. All right. What are your big plans for the day?
Getting drunk?
That works too. I'm totally there. Yeah. So, all right. Anyway, let's see. It's also 3 days until Ostara, 34 days until Easter. We'll have another talk about that then. It's 228 days until Halloween and 283 days until Christmas. Ah, I'm looking forward to that. It's also, time for today's affirmation, which I I happen to have right here, a couple pages in. There we go. All right, well, guess what? I trust my inner wisdom and follow its guidance. Do you trust your inner wisdom?
I trust mine. I don't trust yours.
Fine, be that way. All right, well, that was a lovely affirmation. Well, let's talk about Patreon real quick. Patreon offers folks a way to support creators like us and receive awards not open to the general public, like My Life in Fragments podcast, books, videos, and so much more. And we want to thank our current patrons, Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brothers Zenatus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can support us for as little as $1 a month. And I am happy to announce that the Insights of an Outsider poetry book has been published.
Oh,
It's
thank God.
out. It is available, and hard copies have been ordered so that all of our patrons can get a hard copy from me quite soon as a
Now,
thank you for all their support.
is that a hard copy or is that a softback?
Well, it's a softback, yeah.
Okay.
But actually, I can make hard copies. There are actually hardcover copies of things that you can make now on Amazon, but I haven't experimented with that yet. So,
Well, all
you know.
those that want hard copies, get in the line to the left.
And always to the left. All right. Well, guess what? In history today, March 17th, 461 AD, St. Patrick, Christian missionary, bishop, and apostle of Ireland, dies at Saul, St. Patrick, Ireland. And
Downpatrick, Ireland.
Downpatrick, thank you. What did I say?
St. Patrick.
Oh, same thing.
No.
Let's see. Anyway, so
Today
today,
he's go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, he is honored with the annual holiday of St. Patrick's Day. Mhm. But a more important day and sooner, on March 17th, 1992, white South Africans vote overwhelmingly in a referendum to end minority rule by a margin of 68.7% to 31.2%, thus ending the turbulent period called apartheid, a racial segregation policy that separated the minority white population by designating areas and activities prohibited to Black people. And that's just one of my favorite times, especially now. I don't know why. Hmm. All right. Well, I imagine there's some holidays other than St. Patrick's Day to celebrate.
But who cares?
I care. I care about everything. You know that.
Too much.
Hmm. It's Act Happy Day.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
celebrating that one right now.
It's what?
Act Happy Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said something about Kathy Day, and I thought you were referring to Kathy Bacon's birthday month.
It's always Kathy Bacon's birthday year. Also, Campfire Girls Day. Did you celebrate Campfire Girls?
Yeah, I cooked one up this morning.
Uh, did you get any of the cookies this year?
Hell no. How
Uh,
much are they now?
I think they're $5 a box,
I don't think so. I think
five
they're
or
more now.
six.
I'm I'm
Mr. Go ahead.
well, the thing is you can get
Uh-huh.
Keebler's the Thin Mints and the Samoas for like $3 a thing, and they're the exact same cookies.
Right. Yeah. Well, these go to these extra dollars that we spend go toward helping these girls in their learning how to set fires, apparently.
Really? I mean, do we
Yeah.
know where that money goes to?
No, but they like
Uh,
queer people, so
Do
or
they?
yeah, queer kids
Okay.
are welcome. There are trans kids or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
you sound really informed. Go ahead.
know, right? I'm so on it. But Clint got some for us for me this year. So I ate them.
What kind you get?
Um he got some fudge brownie ones that I gave to my mom. And then some of the peanut butter sandwich cookies, which were
Okay.
okay. They were nice. Um but yeah, the others I was all like, get those for $3. I'm not we're not doing those. All right, corned beef and cabbage day,
I'll be
which
doing that.
are not Irish, but they're so good. Yay.
Why aren't they not Irish?
Because they're not,
Well,
guys.
you're kidding, really?
No, I'm not kidding.
Why aren't they Irish?
Or, because Irish didn't have them. They
Oh,
had
they didn't have
potatoes.
cabbage.
No,
Didn't have corned beef. They didn't have
They
beef.
didn't care. They weren't like, hey, we're gonna eat these on the 17th. Ooh,
Okay.
yeah.
You sound
I
again, you sound
actually I'm bitter
you're
about
so
corned
informed.
beef because
Okay.
I cooked a nice, beautiful corned beef one in a pot roast once, and it came out the size of a hamburger. Okay. Anyway, but I love corned beef. Cabbage, not so much. All right. It's also Doctor-Patient Trust Day. Do you trust your doctor?
Yes.
You trust your patient?
My what?
Your patient. It's a Doctor-Patient Trust Day. Yeah, I trust my doctor. My doctor's really awesome. Dribble to work.
No, I
You
don't
know,
dribble at all. So,
you don't work either.
oh, there's that.
Yeah. National Welderly Day. That's like, well, elderly, I believe. You're well. So there you go. It's of course St. Patrick's Day. It's also Submarine Day. I don't know if it's yellow. Nope, not gonna do it. Unless
Oh boy,
it's a
that
submarine
you know
sandwich.
what? Leave the comedy for the bear.
We don't have any bears. We're only chubs. You gotta
Oh,
do
okay.
something. Let's see. it's time for birthdays. And starting out, I want to send a happy birthday to Karata, who is my one of my bestest friends' sons, and he turns 6 today. Yay! Also, happy birthday to Nico, Owen, Colleen, and we have Nadine, Jason, Diane, that was hard to get out. Liam, Raylin, one of the people that we loved to work with in the old days of Lambda. We have Kathy, Brett, Zachary, Greg, Christian, Phyllis, author N.R. Walker, Christian, Alexandra, who has been in a number of our plays as well. We also have Richard, posthumously, heavenly birthday, if you will, to Beverly. Then we have Jason and Amanda. Happy birthday to all of you.
And
And who? Who'd I miss?
Kathy Bacon.
Oh, well, I mean, I thought that was a given.
Oh, well, it's not a given.
Okay, then happy birthday month to Miss Bacon. And we will be celebrating that. How much longer are we celebrating that?
Don't make it sound like it's a chore. It's a gift that we give to her and to the world.
Well, she is the gift that was given to the world, in my opinion.
Oh my God. Smoochies, smoochies. Okay.
Yes. All right. All right. Well, in our feedback, Sean wrote in and said, my first crush was on a girl named Jenny in 5th grade. I was shy and had low self-esteem and had no idea what to do with those feelings, so nothing ever came of it. I am now married to someone else named Jen. Weird coincidence? I think not. I think it was kismet.
It was just the name.
Oh, okay.
The name was what was foretold.
Yes, exactly. All right. Time for Chub Hugs, and I want to start with sending Chub Hug out to author Rick Reed and his pups, who just a few days ago lost his husband to brain cancer. And then, well, that's that. How about you?
Well, just I mean, it's almost because it's going to be like the regular, not even the annual, like the weekly one, which is all those people who are being, well, affected directly by this administration,
Ugh.
whether it be Social Security or Medicare or Medicaid, or they're veterans, or they work for the federal government. They're all being affected. Or if you're somebody who was born in this country but your parents weren't, and he's trying to get you thrown out. Okay, there's just too much bullshit going on. So to those people, for what it's worth, there's a chub hug for you.
Definitely. Did you see the video of the planes that he didn't turn around and they
Yeah.
landed? Did you
Yeah.
see the video of how they were treating them when they got off the plane?
You mean when they were tying them down and then shaving their heads and then dragging them off? Yeah, I think I saw that video.
Fucking horrific. Not saying that I didn't expect stuff like that, but it's just when you see it, you're just like, oh, fuck. All right. Well, in the news, Governor Gavin Newsom from California, known for his progressive stance, made a surprising rightward shift after a discussion with right-wing pundit Charlie Kirk. He reversed his position on trans participation in sports, calling it an issue of fairness. Further backlash followed when he hosted far-right figure Steve Bannon on his podcast. Kentucky, of all places, Governor Andy Beshear condemned Newsom's actions, with Beshear arguing Bannon's rhetoric is too dangerous to amplify. Wow. Talk about a way to go from like a leader to zero.
Why is it zero? Because he's talking to people on the other side.
No, it's because he's just
You trying to
with them.
what on the transgender participation in sports?
Mm-hmm.
This is not something we die on the hill for. That's why he's pulling back on
You
that.
know what? If he's going to go out there and he's going to start identifying and placating that shit, no, he's gonna lose it. He's gonna lose us. Okay, what the fuck? My screen keeps going black. There we go.
Because it's disagreeing with you.
Uh-huh. Yeah. You
Yeah.
keep disagreeing. Mm. Okay, right. A new Navy policy mandates that transgender officers must voluntarily separate by March 28th or face involuntary discharge. The directive, part of a broader military ban following a Trump executive order, states the Navy recognizes only female and male sexes. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth defended the ban despite no evidence that trans troops are less capable. The Human Rights Campaign condemned the move, estimating at least 15,000 active duty personnel are transgender or non-binary. Well, I'm sure that our governor supports that because it's just not fair that they're in there. All
Oh,
right,
I'm
time for
glad you're
celebrity
speaking
death.
for him. Celebrity deaths. Felicia Picarno, who was the 70s and 80s, upheld ushering in the golden age of gay literature as an author of groundbreaking novels and memoir, died at 81. Paul Flanny, in 1963 Associated Press NFL Rookie of the Year for the Minnesota Vikings, died at the age of 84. And there's the same one again. South African giant playwright Athol Fagard, whose soaring works changed apartheid, died at 92. He was probably part of that effort that eliminated that. George Lowe, the voice behind Space Ghost, the Cartoon Network Adult Swim, died at 67. And Dwayne Wiggins, founding member of the R&B group Tony, has died at 64.
Wow. All right. And now, Tom, let's talk to you about some of the stuff that he did this week.
Well, let's start off with Deal or No Deal Island. Now, okay, if you are making a show and you are, like reality show, game show type thing,
Mm.
and even like the perfect example is what was the one that we watched with the guy $10 million prize
Oh,
was
yeah.
what was it called?
Beast Games.
Okay, Beast Games.
Mm.
Okay, there they had at the end of every episode they left you with a cliffhanger, so you'd have to watch the next episode, right? Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because you're trying to make me binge. But when Deal or No Deal Island ends with a bullshit cliffhanger and it doesn't come back for a week, that's you're taking all the excitement out of it and then just draining it over a 7-day period before we get back to it. It's dumb. It's just dumb because all it does is make me angry at the show. It doesn't make me, oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. It's just like
I get it.
it's just like, oh, what happened last week? Now I'm not quite as invested as I was. On Drag Race, they sent home Lydia Butthole Collins. This was in the Ross versus the Ducks episode, and Ross Matthew went up there, and he was playing the Truman Capote in the Swans character. Well, not character. He was playing Truman Capote as himself, and he was just. And then two queens would come out, and they'd have an argument, and they'd end up brawling on the floor. Every single group, and then at the end, one of the girls came out and read him for his read him for truth. Unfortunately, the one who came out, which was Sparkles, what's her name? Jasmine Sparkles. She wanted to come out and do the monologue at the end and read him. And she came out and it was so boring. And the writing wasn't bad, but her delivery was. And this is when I say to any queen that's going to go on RuPaul's Drag Race, go out and watch the episode of Designing Women where Dixie Carter tells you what the real night the lights went out in Georgia was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The way she delivers it, the way she, because it was high camp when she delivered it. It was, but it was firm, and she knew what to punctuate. And unfortunately, Jasmine did not know that. She didn't go home because she had a really good gown. But if she didn't have that good gown, she might have gone home because she wanted to do it. Um, uh, Susie Toots wanted to do the monologue,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, "Don't give it to Susie. Don't give it to Susie because she'll outshine us." And it's like, whatever happened to let's try to also get the best product for Rue to see, which makes us all shine. And it's like Snatch Game sucked this time, and it's like what was the other one, the one with the oh gosh, what was it? They were villains, the villains roast, and then there was the Rusical, and they kept pushing Susie down, and they didn't want her to do it because they thought she'd shine in it, even though in the roast and in the Snatch Game she sucked. Still, they don't want to give. And okay, and the reason I'm saying this was the episode where Rue goes, "Okay, girls, I want to know who should be going home." And out of the 7 girls, 5 of them said Susie because she's too good. They want her out because she's the one that they're afraid is going to win, even though nobody outside of the show thinks Susie's going to win. None of them, which is funny. But Rue was pissed. Rue was pissed because this is the episode where people are supposed to go, well, so and so's just been floundering the whole time. They really need to go. Lingerie, she hasn't won a contest yet. And she's been on the bottom 3 times. She's probably the one who should go this week. But no one said that. They wanted to get rid of the best person. So Rue, at one point, she goes, okay, well, that's fine. Bring back my girls. And of course, we're going to get rid of Susie Toots. Like, fucking bitches. I asked you to be truthful with me, and then you go against who you think your biggest competition is. And I mean, it was really an interesting moment on Drag Race. At least for me, it was, because it's just they've never done that before. I mean, you might have one person do that, but usually they go after the dog and we're getting rid of the one that's limping. Throw it to the coyotes, okay?
Right.
Okay, let's see. I was watching Arnie Tex. He was making chalupas, but they looked exactly like tostadas, so I was really confused. Of course, Brian said, just because the tostada at Taco Bell is soft and fluffy doesn't mean that that's really what a chalupa is. They might just like the name chalupa. I don't know. But all he did was take a fried tortilla, fried tortilla, put beans and cheese and meat and lettuce on it, and then ate it. Now that to me is a tostada. So, but what do I know? Yeah. So let's see. On the Bachelor, it was Women Tell All, which meant it was just another fucking clip show. And you know how I hate the clip shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, otherwise it was, just, oh my God. Oh, I was so wrong. The girls hated me. I don't know why. Just really, what they really need to do next year is they need to put up a cross and interview the girl who's going on and on about how wrong she was from the cross. We'll nail her up and do the interview from the cross. I think that would have me watching the show like a madman. Okay. Okay, on White Lotus, finally we get the payoff that we were promised. The brothers are off with these 2 girls, and they go, hey, you guys should, to the girls, you 2 should kiss. The girls kiss, and then the boys kiss the girls, and then the girls go, now you should kiss. And they kissed like real quick, and then they went in for the big one. So we got some definite brother on brother kissing. Now I'm thinking, now when they're back in their hotel room and they're drunk, and the older brother only will sleep nude. We're going to see more going on. Okay. And then the other thing was we got introduced to a character in Bangkok that Sam Rockwell is playing. Sam Rockwell, Academy Award winner from Three Billboards.
Mhm.
Fantastic actor and married to one of the actresses in the show. Um, anyway, he does a monologue about how he came to Thailand and he had sex with a lot of women and and he didn't care, but he did it anyway because he could. And then one night he had sex with this guy or this she character, I guess, transgender
Mhm.
person, and but the transgender person fucked him, and he really liked it because he felt like all those women that he's been abusing all this time, he felt like he was in their shoes. So he started dressing up in lingerie and inviting men over to abuse them, sometimes four at a time. This is a monologue on an HBO show, right? it
Wow.
was it was so erotic, and you're just sitting there watching it. Whatever you're doing at the time, you're like going, wait, did he just say he dresses up like a Taiwanese hooker and lets men fuck him in the ass? What did I just hear? So it was finally we got a payoff here on episode, I think this is episode 5. Not to mention the boy's father almost killed himself because he's going to be going to jail before too long. It's funny because the daughter wants to join the monastery there and
Mhm.
learn how to meditate and learn the religion. And I'm thinking the father's probably thinking, well, if they don't have a good policy with America of exporting criminals, you could probably live with me because I'll stay here.
Right.
But yeah, he got the gun out and tried to kill himself. And then the three women this episode, they were out with those three men from the last week's episode at the Moonlight Festival, and
Mhm.
they brought them back to their little bungalows. And one of the guys went all naked and did a wiener, what is like a helicopter.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So we got to see wiener, and then um, whatever, I can't remember her name, Kristen Kuhn or whatever, the one who's from the Gilded Year.
I know.
She takes off her top, so we get to see boobies, and she's also married to the guy who wrote August Osage County. She's married to
Oh.
him. So yeah, I think there's an awful lot of relationships going on. I mean, two of those three women are married to prominent actors and playwrights. So
Hmm.
that's really cool. But this good episode this week. Thank you, White Lotus. Thank you.
Good.
Um, and then let's see, Survivor. Justin, the pizza boy, ends up going home because of, well, there were four people left. His team, the four of them went in. Um, and then the one girl who knew she was going to, they were all going to vote for her. She took the chance, gave up her vote, and pulled the whatever that thing is where you can get a chance of saving yourself.
Hmm.
So she was safe. So what happened was Justin had gone off on a journey and lost his vote. So he had no vote. So it was just the other two voting. So they went, okay, we can go ahead and vote back and forth for each other or Justin, or if we vote for Justin. But if we don't figure out something within two votes, then Justin stays and you and I pull a rock out of a bag. So I think 50-50 is not the idea that I want. So we're going to get rid of Justin because that means 100% I stay. And it was really hard to not justify that. It's like, oh, yeah, fuck that. Justin, you're going to go home. I'm sorry. But he went home on a technicality. So it was sad. We started the spring breaking championship this week.
Woohoo.
Um, yeah, it was. I watched. It's funny because the at least the first episode's usually 2 hours long, so I watched it in two parts, and it worked out fine. Um, and it looks like it's so funny because the first main challenge they have to make a pie, and I couldn't believe how many of them had never made pies before.
Right.
How can you not make pies?
Uh,
Everyone makes pies, even if you are a baking is part of. Oh, yeah, okay, whatever. Um, then let's see. I watched Waitress. This is the Broadway musical with Sarah Bareilles on Max, and it was really well made, well filmed, really fun show, um, based on the Kerry Russell movie back during the '90s, of a pregnant waitress. A waitress finds out she's pregnant. She's got an abusive boyfriend slash husband. I'm not sure if he was a husband or boyfriend. She's trying to get, she's trying to win this big pie contest because she's the pie maker at this restaurant she works at, and if she can get that pie money, then she can get away from the motherfucker who's abusing
uh,
her.
yeah.
So
Did you watch those last two on the 14th, which was
you
Pi
mean
Day?
on what? Oh,
On
actually, yeah, I
so
did.
see, you celebrated Pi Day by watching two things about pie.
Wow, that's scary. Then I also watched a show yesterday. This is, I think, yes, also on Max. It's called The Parenting, and it's
Mm.
about these two young gay men who have invited both their parents, both sets of parents, up to a Airbnb in the middle of nowhere, run by Parker Posey, which should have been your first indication something's wrong.
Uh,
Um, and so what's happening is one of the boys is going to ask the other boy to marry him while they're on this family weekend, and the parents get to meet that way, and it'll be all wonderful. But it turns out that the house that they're renting has a demon inside it, so it's a
mm.
comedy, and for the most part it's pretty funny, but and it's short. That's the other good thing. It's short and it's kind of funny. Yeah, no, it's fun. They had big actors in it too. I was really surprised. I mean, you the all the parents,
Mm.
the kids I didn't know, but and then Parker Posey. So it was really kind of an all-star cast. Not and it's direct to, why not have a good time with it. Finally, I want to talk about, have you heard what's been going on with Aaron Goodwin from Ghost Adventures?
Mm.
Okay, so Aaron was filming in Los Angeles a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and the FBI came to let him know that his wife had been arrested because she has hired someone to kill him.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a whole fucking true crime conspiracy thing. He's been married or with her for, since before the pandemic. He had no idea anything was wrong. But she was contacting this guy down in Texas who, as a middleman, to hire somebody to kill him. She had given all his information of where he was, where he was going to be, when he was going to be. So she wanted it to happen while he was in Los Angeles because um, because she'd be in Las Vegas where they live, and she'd make sure that she had a good alibi. I don't know what you're talking about. I've been in, Las Vegas. I was at a big party. We were there for hours. I don't know what you're talking about. So, whole big fucking thing. He just filed for divorce last week after all this is happening.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I mean, this is this is the goofy guy on Ghost Adventures. How, I mean, talk about crazy, weird shit. And it really makes me want to think, if you're in a relationship and you're unhappy in the relationship, even though the other person has no idea that you're unhappy in the relationship,
Uh,
that's number one. You know, why would where's that line that says, well, I could get a divorce or I could just have him murdered? And
Yeah.
that's, I mean, I'm sorry, but there's got to be a little more wiggle room there before that is those are your two alternatives.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I doubt he's worth that much money.
Oh no, he's not.
Yeah.
I think
So,
oddly enough, he's on television. I think I'm worth about as much as he is.
okay. So I was just gonna say, if he's not that wealthy and you're not doing it for the money, then you're just fucking crazy. Uh,
Yeah,
that's insane. Wow. I'm glad that nothing happened to him.
yeah,
But
I know, and I'm not sure how they got. Probably the either the middleman or the person they had hired was somehow in on it. That
Mhm.
because the guy that was in prison probably thought, well, I can probably get out on good. This will help me lessen my sentence if I help out with somebody who's having their husband killed, or the person he set them up with was probably somebody with the FBI because they have a lot of those people hidden in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, that's insane.
Yeah, his net worth, yeah, it's not worth killing over.
Right. Okay. Well, let's see. All right. Well, shows that we are both watching. I haven't started Spring Baking Championship yet. I attend to this week. And we just talked about White Lotus. I have to catch up on that episode, but I've
Well
been
worth it, even if you know everything. It's
right.
just like if you had like pom poms, you would be using the pom poms all night long,
Oh, hey.
cheering on the yay.
Uh, I was disappointed to find out that Jason Isaac's peen was a prosthetic, but I'm not surprised because it did not look quite right. Um,
It looked fine, but
oh no,
it was yeah, it just felt like it wasn't
yeah,
real.
exactly. It didn't look completely
And
natural.
he's pissed, not pissed, but they have been nagging at him, the
Uh,
press and everybody over this prosthetics, and he's going, I love it. And Honora, you know, the chick has her vagina on screen all the time, and you get a flash of a fake dick, and I'm the one that keeps getting all the pressure here from the press.
yep, yeah, because it's still something new. We're getting used to seeing peen, and I'd say just go for it. Anyway, I still think he's pretty awesome. Uh,
Boo! He's being. Think what he did to Jenny Weasley. Just think about that. He,
oh, did you see? That reminds me, I recently, just the other day, saw a blooper where he hit Harry with his cane in one of the stores and was backing him up. And he realized that he actually like really hit him. And he's all like, "Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry." It's like so night and day. I love acting. All right. Well, my week. Well, starting out, let's see. Insight to the Outsider, the poetry book I already mentioned, is out. It is doing pretty well. It's currently number, I think, 48 in the gay poetry genre. So there's probably like 200 books. So yeah, take it for what it is. I'm taking it as a win. And let's see. Then I did jump into. It's been kind of a week for me, so I ended up watching more stuff than I thought I was going to. I started to watch Escape from New York. That is with the Kurt Russell. Um, I don't know if that was the sequel or the beginning
that
to.
was the beginning. And did you know it's his birthday today?
No, but yay! It's another banana moments. Very timely, like your Pi Day. So I tried to watch that and I've seen it before, so I just got about 15 minutes into it and said, I'm not feeling it. But I've seen it before, and it's actually a good film for its time. Um, and then I've tried to find something spacey to watch. So I put on Space 1999, the series, and I made it about 3 episodes before I went. Now I remember that I tried to watch this a couple of years ago and could not make it past like episode 4 or 5. Um, and I loved it as a kid. I remember really liking it, but I don't know when. What's her name? Do you remember the actress's name that was on it that was so big?
On what?
Space 1999.
Um, Glenn Close?
No, no, but I'm sure you would recognize her. But anyway, she has kind of short blonde hair and wide eyes, and she just stares the whole time, like her entire acting. And I don't know, I tend to blame directors that
Wait,
aren't
this is
playing.
1999.
Yeah,
Are you talking about the main actress,
yes,
Barbara Bain,
that sounds like her.
the
And
one from Mission Impossible?
I'm really surprised that it would be her. But I mean, if that's what it says, then that's who it is. But then I would firmly blame the director because she just stared wide-eyed, like, and uh, that was her acting. She barely, like, she spoke very monotone. It was just like every time she was on, she was so beautiful that she would like kind of steal the scene, but her acting was so bad.
This is one of
Um,
the great actresses of the 60s
and
and
like I
70s.
know, right? Exactly. And like Martin Landau is in it too. And even he was just like so underwhelming. So I firmly would blame the director of that more than the actors. Well, and the fact that the script wasn't that great, but still, I kind of want to push myself to watch it more to see if it got better because it lasted like over a season, I think. Um, so then I have been wanting to kind of watch some um
There were two seasons.
franchises. So I finished out last time we talked about I watched Mad Max 1 and 2. Well, this time I watched 3, 4, and 5, which is like Fury Road, uh Furiosa, and Beyond Thunderdome. All three are excellent films. And 4 and 5 especially and are just really good. Obviously more modern techniques. They've got all sorts of special effects. Things have changed and upgraded a lot. But even Thunderdome was really good. The stories drove them. So I recommend watching those. If you want to skip Mad Max 1 and 2, be my guest. But these are all worth watch.
So what you're saying is you don't need another hero.
Well, no, because that's number 3, so I definitely need another hero. Yeah. Oh, and Tom Hardy in number 4, he was really good. I mean, he was reprising, he was the Mel Gibson character. And he did good. He did really good. Oh.
Oh, I'm so surprised that Tom Hardy is a good actor.
Yeah, it's a shame that he wasn't shirtless and stuff, but yeah.
Why no, 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 it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is sit there,
Uh-huh.
smile, do
Uh-huh.
not open your mouth,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
leave clothes on and you're fine.
Yep, he did good. Yeah. All right, so then I tried to jump into another franchise and I watched Superman 1, 2, and 3. That's
Now, is this the
the
Christopher
Chris Reeve.
Reeves?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I wanted to start from the beginning and work my way through all the others. And Superman 1, I remember the first half of this film like really well, like the origin. I don't remember the second half at all. Like the whole rockets and going to California and the fault line and him flying around the world to reverse time. I don't remember any of that part. So that was weird. But then of course we get into number 2, which is when, General Zod and the other baddies come back. And I remember that whole film really well. And then I started to watch 3 with Richard Pryor, got about halfway through and kind of had to just stop. And I'll finish watching it out next week. But um, they're very nice films. And Christopher Reeve is a wonderful Superman. Number 2 is the best. The others, they're okay for what they were when they were. Um, I just never feel that the Superman franchise did Superman really well, including the newer ones. What?
I I had gas.
Oh, okay. Well, that's kind of how I felt about watching Superman. I liked it, but it left me gassy. So Wheel of Time is back. This is the third season of it, and there are 3 episodes of it that are currently on Amazon. And I watched them, and this season is actually better than the other 2 seasons, but I'm not sure that that's saying
Short
a
bar,
lot. What?
short bar.
What does that mean?
That means the bar is short
Oh yeah.
on
Okay, I got
quality,
you. I got you.
not
Yeah,
quality entertainment wise.
gotcha. Yeah, you're right. The first 2 seasons I did not think all that much of. In fact, we were talking about that we were both kind of getting this confused with whatever the Henry Cavill show was,
The
and
Witchers.
The Witcher, and then there was something else out at about the same time that we were kind of getting mixed up with. But
And this was the least good, so that's why I didn't even start number two.
right. Now, my mom actually had a little bit of an obsession with this show. She like watched the first season like numerous times. So I'm sure that she will like really love this. Uh, I like this season the best. It has more intrigue, more action, more acting. But I'm not saying that I'm overly super thrilled with it. It just is what it is. Daredevil Born Again, I watched that. Boring fucking episode. I swear, every other episode is just like, why did they bother making this?
Filler.
Yeah. Reacher. This episode, again, really good. This season, really good. And then at the end of this season, at the end of this episode, he completely strips naked, and you get to see, well, everything from the back. And wow, I was not expecting it to be that nice. But this is just a fun action show. If you like fun action shows, this is the one you want to see. It's really good. And then, of course, Spring Baking Championship. I'm not caught up on the new one. I'm still on like season 5 of the old ones, and it's nice. This is the one where the girl who was pregnant uh, was really prevalent on the show, and just some really nice bakes, very soothing. And that's been pretty much my week. Uh, so, all right.
That on Thursday,
Yes.
Smash. Wait, no, hello.
Yeah.
Smash opened up on Broadway.
Oh,
This
really?
is that was based on the NBC series Smash that was looking for the next Marilyn Monroe and to put a Marilyn Monroe musical up on stage. So
Hmm.
somehow they took, all these episodes and converted it into a 2.5 hour show on Broadway. I mean, they had all the songs and everything. So all they had to do is kind of figure out what they were cutting, and
Ah,
what they were keeping. So since I'll probably be seeing that in April, I thought I should probably revisit the TV series. And we're almost done
right.
with Lost. So we've got
Oh,
like a week's worth of Lost left. And so we moved on to Smash. So
what are you thinking of? Oh, okay. So how many seasons of Lost were there?
6.
Oh, and you're still liking it?
Well, I'm not hating it. It
Mhm.
is what it is because it's like right now they've gone into what seems to be different dimensions of their characters,
Hmm.
of the people. So I mean, now that I kind of, I'll tell you, the show needs to be watched consistently every other day, every other day. At least watch it. You're watching 3 to 4 episodes a week, so you keep what you have in mind, or you can binge it.
Hmm.
Binge, you know, 3 or 4 episodes, and then tomorrow do the same thing, because it's so intricate what they're doing with the storyline that it makes it hard to you're watch the update, is almost doesn't help because they are so the relationships. And remember, that's who that was, and this is who that. And remember, she's his sister, but he didn't know that because the father never and it's like you don't, if week to week and then you got a full summer where you remember nothing when you come back and you get one recap. This is what happened last season on Lost. Fuck you. That doesn't help at all. And so I think it's just one of those shows that's so intricate that you have to watch it like this. You have to watch it, binge it, or whatever, however you want to refer to it. Oh, by the way, there is a whiskey, I think it's a whiskey out that is a blue version of the Doctor Who telephone thing,
Oh yeah,
telephone
I saw
box.
something like that.
That looks so cool.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope it's big. I can't tell how big it actually is, but I'd
Mhm.
want it to be like at least 8 inches tall, so it
Yeah.
doesn't get lost wherever you put it, you're going to notice it.
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
my I Dream of Jeannie whiskey bottle, because you
Aw,
remember Jeannie's bottle that she had was
right.
actually a bottle, a promotional bottle from, and I can't remember which, it was some major whiskey company with it. So it was a decanter. You keep the whiskeys inside it, and now you've got a decanter for when you have whiskey. And then
Wow.
the I Dream of Jeannie people found the bottle and they painted them up, for Jeannie's home. And I remember I was at a garage sale or someplace and I found one of the Jeannie bottles. So I have my own
Oh,
Jeannie bottle.
cool.
Yeah.
I'll have to
But
see that
that's
next time over.
yeah, that's why I like the Doctor Who thing. I thought, well, that's really fun.
Yeah, yeah, it looked really neat. From what I remember, I'll have to check it out again. I'm sure that after we talk about this, it'll pop up in my Facebook feed soon.
Sure.
So, yeah. All right, well, let's move into advice. My husband, who is 30 years old, and I, who am 29 years old, we've been married for 8 years. He has little quirks that drive me nuts, but I love him dearly. However, one of these quirks is starting to irritate me. He always uses the used towel I've hung up to dry and use during my next shower. Not only does he use it, but also when he's done, he lays it flat on the floor so he doesn't slip and doesn't hang it back up. After numerous times getting out of the shower only to find no towel on the rack, I finally and kindly asked him to stop using my towel. He got super defensive. I told him I was getting tired of having to trot through the carpet and into the hallway naked and cold to grab a towel after my shower. He told me I was being unreasonable. Okay, now lost my place.
And that the answer to my concerns is check that I have a towel before I get in the shower. That totally pissed me off. I thought he'd see the fair situation to be that he should check for his own towel and go one for himself and get one for himself. But instead, he thinks my nagging and getting upset over nothing is over nothing. I honestly, it honestly just seems childish. And
And
thanks to
thanks to
my,
my
go ahead.
overdeveloped sense of justice, I'm debating resorting to his level of immaturity to teach him a lesson. My solution is to prank my husband. He hates being sticky. I planned on putting honey all over the inside of my towel and hanging it up to hide the stickiness from him. When he goes to dry himself off, he instantly gets sticky. However, this could obviously backfire and make me look like I'm overreacting. So, am I the asshole for resorting to pranks to get my childish husband to learn his lesson?
Yeah, you're an asshole for attempting to do something that silly. First of all, what happens if it's a day and all of a sudden now you got bugs all over your bathroom because
Ah,
you've got a sticky
yeah.
towel? Or what happens if he dries his face and hair first, which most people do? Then, he's got honey in his eyes. Oh, that sounds like a great plan. No, you know, what you need to do is just make sure you have a towel before you go into the shower. This is an
Yeah.
easy fix, an easy fucking fix. Sure, he could learn a lesson. Sure, he can get his own shit. That's fine. But come on, you're not
Yeah.
five. You're not an 8-year-old, boy who's trying to pull a prank on his older brother.
Yeah, this is just going to lead to nothing but resentment every single time either of you go in to shower.
Well,
It's
and he's going to
ridiculous.
retaliate. He's going to have that. He's going to leave that
Yeah.
towel up there, and he's going to urinate on it before he puts it back up.
Ah,
And then, oh, that's terrible. Or he's going to wipe his ass with the inside of the towel that you don't see. So when all of a sudden you open up the towel,
ew.
there's going to be a big shit stain on it.
Oh my God.
Well, come on. How far will this go? This
Well,
is stupid.
yeah, but no, it's just it's pointless. This is actually kind of a therapy thing, and it's like it's one of those things where you need to let it go. You either need to manage your own towel situation where you bring one in every time you shower and put it in the laundry thing when you're done with it, or what you need to manage your reaction to make yourself feel better about what you are doing. You cannot control him, and anything like this is just going to fuck fuck it up. It's just gonna fuck it up. Just do you and stop trying to control him. Anyway, that's just my opinion. I think you said the same thing basically. Ready?
For
Hey Chubs, Timothy wants to know, do you ever crave the flavor of childhood amoxicillin, the pink liquid? Girl, I am so sorry for whatever you went through in your childhood.
yeah, but mine wasn't moxicillin because I was allergic to the psyllins.
Uh,
I had the other version, and ours was a little more on the orange side.
oh.
But yes, it was so yummy. It made getting medicine. It was like, oh God, it was like candy.
See, I never got any of that. Whenever where I had to take something like that, it was always just pills. So I never
But
got
this,
that
but
stuff.
yeah, usually it was like if you had a real bad cough or you were crouping because I crouped a lot as a child,
Uh,
and or bronchitis. It was you were killing some kind of like lung bug,
mm, mm.
and oh yeah, it was good stuff. It was good.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't really remember any of that. Mm-mm. Um, I remember cherry cough syrup, which was kind of good. And what was the other thing?
Well, there was
Do you remember? Did you ever have anything where they had to give you like the cough syrup that had codeine in it?
not until I was older,
Uh,
and boy, that worked great.
yeah, it
It just
really did.
it was so weird. I took one, because I was croupy, I was calicky, I was bronchitis.
Mm,
I've had lung problems when I get sick since since I can remember, and so uh, it was like finally because I would just hack and hack and hack and hack for
mm.
hours, and fortunately mom would give me like some triple sec or something that would help ease the pain in my throat, but and maybe a couple like onions in a large glass. No, anyway,
Yeah.
and those were cocktail onions, by the way.
Yeah.
No, but I was one time I got the codeine stuff. I took it and it immediately stopped.
Yeah.
Just immediately stopped, and all of a sudden, it was probably 10 minutes, and I was sound asleep.
Yeah, see, my grandmother, and this is back when they would hand that stuff out with no problem. And so my grandmother, my mother, ended up, having that type of thing. And I remember I had it once, and it was the same thing. It's like within like 10 minutes of me taking that, it was like no cough. I felt good. I felt like I could finally sleep. And when you're sick, that's what you want to do. So it was lovely. It was lovely. But I don't remember this. amoxicillin. So, hey Chubs, Timothy wants to know, was there ever a time when you didn't stick up for someone and you should have? Oh, I'm sure there were plenty of them.
Yeah, me too. I can't give you an instant, but I'm sure there has been because there's always that thought in your head. What I mentioned earlier, is this the hill you're going to die on?
Yeah.
And then you find out, well, you don't have to die on that hill. On this one, you could just be a good person and say something. There's somebody bullying somebody, and you could just say something, they're not going to fuck with you. So just say something. You see, it's always the great, the really hot guy and the girls being picked on, or the young gay guys being picked on, and the one who always says something to bully is the football quarterback,
Mhm.
dreamy quarterback, and he says something, and it's like, but the bully's not going to go after him. Fuck it. If
Yeah.
I mean, if there's an opportunity where it's, yeah, where it's, if you don't have any, it's not going to affect your life at all, but you could do something nice, then you should do it. And I'm sure that I'm weighing that out while it's happening, and I just don't do anything.
Yeah. I don't know. But I can't give you an exact something, but I'm sure there's been times when I should have. Hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, how bizarre can your intrusive thoughts get? Oh girl, we do not have enough time in an episode to get into that. But yeah, pretty bizarre. How about you? Do you have intrusive thoughts?
Um, yeah, well, everyone does.
Well, I don't know.
You don't think so?
You know what? There are half the population that when they don't have any input going on, they don't think. They don't have little voices in their head.
Well, see, I mean, for me, intrusive voices are the scene in Animal House where the devil and the angel are sitting on each shoulder, you
Okay.
know, and
Okay.
and and that's
Yeah.
how I kind of visualize it. And I'm just thinking, how many times have I been weighing out a situation? Well, just like the situation I was talking about, it's where I've got my whole, unless I'm high, I which helps block out the voices, but you're always weighing things out in your, at least I am in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
um how much is this going to affect me, and should I, or how it could really, it goes on to dirty stuff too.
Dirty stuff. Yeah, no,
I mean, I should not be getting as excited over White Lotus at this point as I did last night's episode.
Wow. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. No, yeah, pretty bizarre, but I mean, intrusive thoughts, that's what they are, is bizarre. So I can't really give you an example at the moment, but let's just say that yeah, there are some times when I have to just say, all right, that's enough of that. Let's go do something else.
I actually have that in dreams where I'll wake up and I'll actually, because if I don't get up, go to the bathroom or something, the
Hmm.
dream continues even though I tell it to stop. Because I
Yeah.
and they're always, it's the last dream before I get up in the morning.
Mm.
And as soon as I have that dream, that's telling me get up, because I'm just going to keep pumping these weird ass dreams that are going to get you upset if you don't get up.
Yeah. I hear you. All right. I remember. So our friend Scott wrote in and said, "Hey, do you guys remember if you ever shoplifted when you were younger? I did. First, when I was 5 years old in England, I stole a box of Smarties. When I got home, my mother made me rush back to the shop and make me apologize, and I returned it. And the second time, when I was about 16, I stole a Donna Summer album from Kmart. Okay, 16, stealing Donna Summer, girl, you were gay. No question, you were gay.
Well, it depends which album.
Well, It's Donna Summer. It's
Well,
still
see, if it's on the radio, which was the greatest hits album,
right.
then that's something most people might have in there, just because it kind of encompassed everything. But if it's one of the, the non, where it has just only a few hit singles on it, yeah, you're gay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I remember very clearly the well, actually I think it's the only time that I shoplifted, but it my father worked at, I think I told this not too long ago. My father worked at 7-Eleven, and so my mom would take us there, and we would pick up a few things or visit him or whatever. And first I was like 5, and I went down the candy aisle and picked out a candy bar I liked, went to the end of the aisle where I thought they couldn't see me, and I ate it. And of course, didn't realize that there are mirrors that, and I was seen, and then I was banned from the store for a certain amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that anybody who's well, yeah, I don't. I think it still goes on. Anybody that's tasted the grapes before you buy them,
Oh,
or the
yeah.
cherries before you buy them. I just want to see if they're
Remember,
good.
remember the when they would have the Brocs in the display,
Oh yeah.
and you could just
Well, now
pick
see
one up.
that to me was stealing. But it's like when
Uh,
you're sampling through the produce aisle, that's technically shoplifting. I actually saw there was a episode on Cougar Town where Bobby, who was the dumb character, thought as long as you eat it in the store, it wasn't shoplifting. Although you are taking it out with you as you leave the building, but you're not holding it in your hands. So, but otherwise, I don't remember any shoplifting. I remember people I was with that shoplift um, didn't do
uh,
that
yeah,
that I remember.
I remember having been with people, friends before that wanted to do the shoplifting stuff, and
Or like if you're working, like when I was working at the theater, and you catch somebody having a hot dog and they didn't pay for it, you know.
yeah.
Are there because we could get the popcorn and the drink were free as long as we didn't use the cups. But yeah, every once in a while you see that, and they somehow that, and I love that this is when people go, well, they're not paying me enough, so I deserve this, which is a different kind
Uh-huh.
of shoplifting, but
Yeah.
yeah. So
All right. Well, thank you so much for that, Scott. We really appreciate that.
that
And
really stirred up a conversation.
yeah. Now let's see. Let's get into what's in your lunchbox. And
Wait,
Mr.
we're not going to do the next thing?
No, I just added that for next time.
Damn it.
But
Okay.
we'll have fun with that one. All right. Mr. Moose wrote in and said, yesterday I posted a recipe for banana fluff on Blue Sky. I made it tonight. Super easy to make and it's good. Would serve it to guests. And I really want to try that.
I would too, but I couldn't have it at the house because Sean doesn't like bananas.
He doesn't eat bananas. He doesn't eat cake.
Oh no, no. We're taking that part up there. As
Okay.
far as we know he likes pies, which I didn't know he liked pies forever. Of
Oh,
course, you know how he likes pies? In
on.
the tin. Okay, no.
Oh.
Like eating it out of the tin. Yeah, it's this is going back to his the whole sweet stuff is going
Mm.
back to his mother
Oh,
and the way he
gotcha.
was raised, that he's almost frightened of the cakes and pies and goodies because they're bad. They're bad. They're bad.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. In
Yeah.
my house, it was like, oh, you're happy? Here, have some sweets. Oh,
Yes.
you're sad? Here, have some sweets. Yeah, I don't get it.
Did you know that there was? I think it was the it was the first decade of the 19th century when they introduced cereal, breakfast cereal,
Hmm.
and since then the people have been putting on weight since the introduction of breakfast cereal.
Well, I know that's my problem. Actually, see, my mom will just eat it right out of the box. For me,
Sure.
I want milk. I'm not that kind of muncher, but I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. You're getting a bowl of sugar
Yeah.
with with dairy. I mean, my God, what were they thinking?
Thinking
Yeah,
dumb.
but yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Let's see. It's early Sunday morning. Hubby's still in bed. I'm cooking steak for dinner, and I wanted to get a side dish made beforehand. Fried a pan of apples. Think these will be okay. That's interesting. I have a love-hate thing with apples. Sometimes I just really love stuff like that, and sometimes I just don't. Um, Deep
Okay.
fried. Oh, what?
Well, this is the see what I like about it, like apple pie. I don't want the crust.
Now, see, I love the crust, but I
See,
don't like hard apples.
oh well, these aren't hard apples. Look how thin he sliced them,
Yeah.
and so see, I'd rather have this with like a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my mom would love that too.
Yeah, or even whipped cream, and just do it
Yeah.
like that. Oh, it might be also good. You could take graham crackers, and crumbles, and put them all across there, and then serve them so you get a little bit of the graham crackery
Mm,
texture with
yeah,
the soft apples and the creamy whipped cream or ice cream.
that sounds really
Yeah,
good.
I've never thought of doing apples like this, but now
Hmm.
he's open. Moose has once again opened my mind.
Deep fried dinner tonight. Shrimp and okra taste so good.
He,
Homemade, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, you go
Uh,
ahead.
Homemade breading on the shrimp with panko and Old Bay. Okra dipped in egg wash, then flour and cornmeal.
When he posted this on Blue Sky, I
Mm.
immediately went, "Oh, Moose is having shrimp,"
It
because
literally
I
looks good.
recognized the batter.
Yeah.
I knew exactly whose crust that was just before I even looked to see whose picture it was. It was so funny. Go ahead.
Uh, we have more diner food, turkey pot pie. This
Um,
did come with a biscuit crust. Sounds good, but not too much bread for me. Won't order again.
okay. I
Hmm.
was going to say it looks really good, but
Mm.
yeah, I don't want. If I want a lot of bread, I'll have stuffing.
Oh, stuffing. I
Yeah,
love a
but
really good bread pudding too.
yeah, I've never been a big bread pudding fan.
Oh.
Just it's like now we did. I grew up with there was an egg. My parents called it Swiss toast. I don't know if that's real name or not, or they just made it up. But
Mm.
it was you cubed up bread and then you toasted it, and then you made it like French toast. You would dip the toast into the egg mixture and then pour it out and basically scramble it. But it was toasty bread encased in the egg,
Oh.
and
Uh,
so yeah, that was a big favorite of ours. And then of course, me being the fatty I am,
eh.
said, can't we introduce like breakfast sausage in here, or
Mm.
bacon bits, or bacon itself, and crumble it in over the top of it and give it that extra texture and pop. And I'm thinking, God, even as a kid, I was like just setting myself up for the big leagues, if you know what I mean.
More. I actually bought some sausage this time. So, let's see. Hubby carried me out to dinner. Good thing I'm broke. We went to an Asian restaurant where I ordered a fish dish. Don't
Okay.
remember the name. It was tempura fish with mixed vegetables and a chicken stock based sauce with hints of ginger. Really good.
It looks really good. I wasn't sure. I'm like, it looks like it's going to be battered chicken, but that doesn't seem right. And so it was fish. That makes all the sense in the world.
Hmm.
And look at all the vegetables. I've been really into noodles, and I think some of this has to do with moose. But all of a sudden, consumed with noodles. Um, I was at Costco last week. We picked up spicy noodles, and it comes with a broth. And now I've got I'm using my chicken stock instead of water, and the noodles are spicy and it's really good. And I've become obsessed. We're going to go to Costco today, and I'm getting at least three different kinds of noodles that I know of. I
Yum.
I don't know. I don't know where this is coming from, but yeah, I just oh
Let's see. So Scott wrote in, he's our Scott that we were just talking about, and he said, so we went to this fairly new hamburger place here in Fairfield called Mooyah Burger. We each had a cheeseburger with just ketchup. The burgers were made with potato bread, made fresh every day, and they make a smash burger, and the French fries are delicious. They use real potatoes with the skin on them. That sounds very cool. I would definitely try that.
yeah. I'm wondering if we. It sounds familiar. I wonder if we have one in town.
Oh, don't know, but
But
I
that
love the burger, the bun idea.
yeah, potato
Yeah,
buns are fun.
yeah. Sorry, no pictures for this one. Completely forgot. So Friday we had cheeseburger macaroni, hamburger helper. It was delicious, but most hamburger helper always tastes best the second day. Hmm. Uh,
Actually, it's funny. We were at Costco, and you know when you're in the chip aisle and they have those little jars of queso.
uh-huh.
Okay, well they have big jars of queso at Costco, right?
Mhm.
And so we had picked up one, and it was fine. It's fine as queso, but I said to myself, what if we made macaroni and cheese or macaroni and cheese out of the queso. And what if we added chili to make it a chili macaroni and cheese?
Uh,
So I got two cans of the no bean chili,
hmm.
one, and it's a big jar. It's a big jar of the queso at Costco, and then boiled up some noodles and then whipped that together. It was fine macaroni and cheese. Although I do like anything hamburger helper,
That
except I've never had the tuna helper. Have you ever had the tuna helper?
yeah, but I mean not since I was probably in my 20s. Because then we just kind of grew out of using a lot of that stuff. Although Heather and I ended up a couple months ago, she just had this thing where she wanted to try hamburger helper
Cheeseburger
again.
macaroni?
Yes,
Yeah, that.
no, because
Oh,
I probably would have liked that. This was the stroganoff.
oh,
And it
okay.
just all turned to mush, and I was like, and I felt bad because I was like, well, maybe we should try something else next time. And
Or
she
boil it
almost looked
less.
offended, but I was
You
like,
have to you have to boil it less. That's the problem.
yeah. And but
Um,
the cheeseburger, I would try that again. Yeah.
yeah, because that has the little elbows where
Hmm.
they're much stronger than the like the drunken noodles,
And
like
that's
the
what I
egg
remember
noodles.
growing up with.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, if there is a if there's a sale on Hamburger Helper, I stock up.
Huh.
And Sean's always like, "Oh my god!" And then of course I make it, and he's eating it out of the pan. So yeah, sure, yeah, go,
That would be me. All
yeah.
right. Let's see. So Wednesday we had potato stroganoff. Stroganoff. That was probably my favorite hamburger helper. Once again, it was delicious. We made it last 2 days. So I don't know if mine would last 2 days, but yay. Uh,
I
let's
find
see.
if you put it away right away, it lasts 2 days.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the secret.
we had multiple hamburger helper days last week. Monday, we had cheesy hash brown uh, hamburger helper. We always use ground turkey. It was delicious. We made it for 2 days. Now, that's something I haven't done. The last ground turkey that I got was mush, absolute mush. It was awful.
Well, it's the problem with ground turkey is you have to use it in something like a hamburger helper.
Hmm.
It needs all the helper it can get
Right.
because turkey just really tastes like, and ground chicken's the same way. for some reason when they're ground, they take on a completely different consistency, and you got to add taste and you got to add fat to it,
Right.
and
And I
yeah,
mean, I've made ground turkey before and it's come out, just fine. But
sure.
this was like cat food. I mean, there was just nothing to it. It was no matter what I did with it. So I just, ugh, yeah,
But no, but for turkey, ground turkey, yeah, hamburger helper is the perfect vessel for it.
yeah. All right. Let's see. Next up, we have me, who this is my dinner from Roscoe's, and it was a barbecue bacon cheeseburger uh, with fries and seasoned fries and two sides of mayo.
And
Uh,
how come that one side is a little light on mayo? Look at that.
they always end up doing that. It's like they think they have some run on mayo or something. I'm like, just fill them up. Come on.
Well, it's funny because after I, you sent this to me, and I was looking at that, and I'm going, God, the burger looks really good, and then I took a close up
Hmm.
because I want to see just how big the ramekins were,
Uh,
and I'm like, oh my God, they're barely even filled.
yep.
Did Charlie get one, and he gave you his?
No, no, those were both for me.
Well, no
I
wonder it was so salty. You didn't have enough mayo
yeah,
because you ran out.
I use one for my fries and then one for my burger because they don't put enough sauce on the burgers.
Well, and they don't put mayo on that hamburger at all.
So I dip the hamburger in the mayo. I'll tell you the bacon on that one was really well cooked, but the
Oh
little
yeah.
the little breaded onion that they have on, they never put those on that burger before, so I was surprised. And they were really good until
See,
about halfway through, and then it just tasted like salt.
it's funny because every time I've gotten that, because I get this is what I get. I get the burger as
Mhm.
well, and it always comes with the onions.
Let's see, I don't remember it coming
It's
with
usually
it.
you know what? It's usually a big onion ring. That so
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
that may have been
Yeah.
what the difference was, because yeah, it usually comes with a giant onion ring underneath
Hmm.
it. Even when you go to Carl's Jr., it's the same, basically the same thing. They have the same thing over at Jack in the Box too.
Right.
It's the Western bacon cheeseburger.
Yeah, and I've always liked them just fine, but this one there was just, I don't know, there was too much, too much.
It's
But
dark.
the fries are always really good. Did you know that our dear friend Clint actually had oversalted fries? Like they were so salty that he couldn't eat them a couple times ago. So he actually wrote a letter to the owner of the restaurant saying, "Dear God, please, you need to come up with some unsalted fries," and they did.
Well, can't you just ask for no salt, no, don't salt the fries?
Well, you can now, but
Okay.
all right. And then, hey, Tom has a picture here too.
Yeah, this we had pizza night, so I like to um, roll out some dough, and this was just your standard like marinara sauce with. But what I did was I took habanero seasoning and I put that between the cheese and the sauce, and
Wow.
then I laid down the mozzarella. Oh no! And before I do that, I also put dehydrated onions over the saucy area.
Mm.
And what that does is that just gives this pop of onion without having to add onion. And then once the mozzarella down, it's bacon bits and the pepperoni, and then it cooked up really nicely, and it was very very tasty. I
That looks
normally do. I like to add fig jam to that, but the
uh,
last time I did that, somebody didn't seem to like the pizza as much, so I'm not sure if it was fig jam or not. So I
huh.
left it off this time.
Well, cool. It looks really, really good. It looks, I
That's
mean,
eight. That's eight
I want a
sizable
piece.
pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I want a piece. That looks wonderful. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of Lunchbox. And oddly enough, once again, when we hit this point, it always makes me hungry.
yeah,
But hey, send us what's in your lunchbox as well as an I remember or hey Chubs questions, whatever you like to chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Also find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. find my projects over at justkisstheguy.com. Find all of our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And give us an email at
chubsgonewild@gmail.com. And remember, we are on YouTube as well. So if you are watching us on YouTube, like and subscribe.
Yay! And with that, happy St.
Patrick's Day.
Yeah. I had to think about it. And we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.